You know, I'm being set up tonight, right? So I'm doing this town hall with Concast, C-O-N, right? Con, because it's a con job, Concast, C-O-N, not C-O-M, C-O-N, cast. So I'm doing it, and it's NBC, the worst, home of Sleepy Eyes, Chuck Todd, and some others. And so they asked me if I do it, and I figured, what the hell, we get a free hour on television. And we have Savannah Guthrie. She's always lovely, isn't she? But I figure, why not?
The second U.S. presidential debate was supposed to happen tonight. Instead, Donald Trump and Joe Biden will take the stage at two separate events at the same time. Biden is participating in a town hall hosted by ABC at 8 o'clock Eastern. It was scheduled shortly after the debate was canceled when Trump refused to debate virtually. Then this week, NBC also scheduled a town hall, but with Trump at the exact same time as Biden's. NBC is facing a lot of blowback for that decision. For more, I'm joined by Brian Stelter. He is CNN's chief media correspondent and anchor of Reliable Sources. He's in New York. Hi, Brian. Great to see you.
Thank you.
You are really the authority on all the things that happen behind the scenes when it comes to especially how the media has sort of factored into what's being decided tonight. Can you tell us a bit about how this unfolded? Like, how did we arrive at a place where these two men are holding town halls at the exact same time?
Well, all these television networks in the United States want to have town halls with the presidential candidates. Donald Trump was on ABC in September. Joe Biden was on NBC just about a week ago. So these networks want to have the candidates. And when the presidential debate was canceled last week, this was the debate that was supposed to happen tonight, and it was scrapped because Trump didn't want to appear virtually. That's when NBC and ABC went out and made other plans. It's kind of like when one person cancels on you, you go and find some other date. Well, that's what happened. ABC booked a town hall with Biden that is airing in a couple of hours, and NBC booked a town hall with Trump. The real issue now is that these are happening at the same time, head to head. And that is a big mistake. It's not good for the viewers. It's not good for voters. It's not even good for the candidates because the ratings won't be as high for these town halls. But the root problem is that the debate was canceled. These candidates should be debating each other. They shouldn't be fighting on different channels. They should be debating each other. But because Trump didn't want to appear virtually, the debate was off. And by the way, this virtual format works just fine for everybody else.
Yeah, we've gotten
so it's
used to it.
It's a shame the president wouldn't try it.
Yeah, we've gotten used to it. What is the network's culpability here? Like, I know that you've written about that. I know NBC is getting a lot of blowback. What's happening there?
Yeah. There's a lot of criticism of NBC, including from inside the company. A lot of staffers are angry because they feel like the network is colluding with President Trump in order to put on a show for him. Like he's being rewarded for canceling, for not being willing to debate. NBC's management is saying, look, we wanted to have a town hall with him. We had a town hall with Biden, so now it's his turn. We scheduled Biden for 8 p.m., so now Trump is at 8 p.m. We're trying to be equal. We're trying to be fair. We're trying to have parity. But nothing about this election cycle is even, right? The president is a serial liar who uses television interviews in order to spread disinformation. So it's going to be a real challenge for moderator Savannah Guthrie to try to keep up with him and try to hold him accountable for what he's saying. Look, there's no stopping at this point, though. These town halls are 2 hours away. They are going to happen. And I think they're a real symbol of our divided media world. One candidate on one channel, another candidate on another channel, viewers having to flip back and forth to see what's going on.
And you know as well as anyone, or better than anyone, that ratings ends up being a factor in the way in which Donald Trump ends up characterizing the success or failure of
right.
things, right? So how do you think that plays into what happens tonight?
Yeah, look, when Donald Trump was a television star on The Apprentice on NBC, he was always boasting about his ratings. He once sent me a handwritten note because he was mad at me for not touting his ratings enough. He is obsessed with ratings, and that remains true now that he's in the White House. However, he is not a ratings magnet anymore. It's true, he did used to be. His rallies, his debates were big deals. Nowadays, though, when he holds events, they do not draw giant audiences on television. His town hall on ABC in September only had 3.8 million viewers, which is not a strong number compared to what else is out there. So bottom line, he is going to try to brag that he beats Joe Biden in the ratings. That's likely to happen based on what channels all these town halls are on today. But ratings are not the only metric that matter. The more important metric is that 17 million Americans have already voted in this ongoing election. So if he's trying to change people's minds, look, he's losing time to do that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, beyond all the millions of people who have already voted, those who haven't, it seems, at least you have the sense sitting in a different country, that most of them have made up their minds, given how different the two choices are. Do you think anyone's mind gets changed tonight, or is this almost more, I don't want to be flippant, but entertainment?
Well, Trump can go and try to, lately he's been saying, he's been trying to appeal to suburban moms. Yesterday on the campaign trail, he said, "Please like me, suburban moms." Well, Savannah Guthrie is the example of a suburban mom. Here she is hosting the Today Show, a morning show here in the United States. She's going to be moderating. I'll be curious to see if Trump uses his usual anti-media rhetoric, whether he attacks the moderator, whether he comes in really aggressively, or if he tries to be a warmer, kinder version of himself. We'll see if that happens. I think the best assumption is we're going to see more of the same. Biden talking about unity, Trump appealing to his base, playing us versus them arguments. And to your point about undecided voters, it is so hard to find undecided voters in America right now. The television networks are having a hard time finding people to ask questions at these town halls. This is a country that is tired, that is fed up with politics, that wants this all to be over. And in 19 days, it will be.
Before I let you go, I did want to get your take, just given your area of expertise, on the New York Post story, and in particular, what Twitter decided to do. So just for our viewers, this is the story that was published yesterday. It contained alleged details of Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son's business dealings with a Ukrainian energy company, and said that Joe Biden had met with an advisor of that company. The story had not been matched by any other outlet. It appeared to be based on emails that were obtained by Rudy Giuliani, and the sources were very, very dubious, to say the least. Twitter then stopped allowing the article basically to be tweeted out and suspended some accounts. What is the reaction been like to that decision, and what kind of precedent do you think it sets?
This story is very sketchy, and there's a lot we don't know about it. Is it a disinformation campaign? Are there Russian fingerprints on this? Are there some other foreign government fingerprints? There's a lot we don't know. And that's partly why Twitter took this extreme measure of blocking people from posting the story. It is absolutely extreme and worthy of debate. Should platforms be doing this? What we see are Twitter and Facebook trying to more and more and more be publishers like you and me, trying to exert editorial control and not just allow free-for-all on their platforms. This is what happens when they try to exercise control. It ticks a lot of people off, it raises the ire of the president, and it raises really thorny questions about the power these platforms have. But I understand what they're trying to do. They are trying to make sure that their platforms are not used to spread lies, hate, and disinformation. The problem is we don't know enough about the New York Post story. We don't know enough about the sourcing. It is murky, it is sketchy, and it is being used now against Biden by Trump and right-wing media outlets. This is the playbook for right-wing media in every election in the United States. They come up with a scandal, kind of an invented scandal. Maybe there's some grains of truth, but they take a molehill and they turn it into a mountain. And that's what we're seeing again now in the final stages of this campaign. I think viewers, readers, users should be skeptical and approach these stories with a healthy amount of skepticism.
It was interesting to see Twitter's CEO kind of tweet and admit, though, that they could have done a better job, or they should have done a better job kind of explaining their actions.
The story of Twitter, yeah.
Yeah,
these companies are always trying to figure it out as they go along, and they're always admitting they didn't do it quite right. It's the world's worst game of whack-a-mole, always trying to figure out how to handle these problems on their platforms.
For sure. Okay, thanks, Brian. Really appreciate you making time for us tonight.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.